In this VideoNet interview, I'm speaking with Tom Monroe, CEO of Verimatrix. Hello, Tom.
Good morning, John. How are you?
Very well, thanks. We're seeing some TV Everywhere services launch now, and in the early days, it looks as if the sort of the extra screens will be bundled with the channel subscription. And I just wonder if the key content protection challenge is really about authentication at this point.
Well, it's interesting. You're right that it's a commonplace at this point. 75% of the RFPs we get from carriers today include some feature of TV Anywhere. So people are at least future-proofing themselves for a later service if they're not adding it immediately. In terms of the authentication challenge, yes, it is a complex challenge to support video delivery through multiple means of managed network, unmanaged network, devices that are supplied by the operator, and devices that are brought into the network by the consumer. So authentication is one challenge, and of course there are others, multiple DRMs, multiple formats and the like.
Okay, I mean, do you think that there are going to be other ways to monetize the content beyond the channel subscription bundle?
It's pretty clear that some of the operators, for example, that offer a VOD service want to be able to reach people that aren't in their core subscriber base. They're not simply adding a new service for their existing subs, they're trying to reach beyond their existing market, maybe even out of their geographic territory, which they can now do because they can go over a competitor's or an affiliate's network.
Okay, I mean, you mentioned MultiDRM there.
Yeah.
I mean, how big a challenge is that? I mean, do you have to support every DRM that's out there, or are we likely to see some sort of rationalization around certain DRMs?
There may be a rationalization of DRMs, but I can't tell you when it will start. It seems to me that the world is exploding rather than converging. And again, part of it's driven by this requirement to support a device that a consumer selected, not one that the operator selected. So to be able to support the largest possible population of devices, you're going to need to encompass at least a long list of the most popular DRMs.
Okay, and we've been hearing a lot about HTTP live streaming. I mean, I know that you support that. I mean, just how important is that?
Well, there are several flavors of adaptive streaming, and certainly the HTTP live streaming seems to be gaining some mind share at least, and certainly is being implemented by many of the leading encoder vendors. Again, not exclusively, but certainly seems to be a good, strong candidate. We've implemented support for that within several of our products for iPad, iPhone, Android, PC player, and other devices. And we think it's really important for a couple of reasons. One is certainly the reason number one, the primary reason is adaptive rate to support the good quality, best efforts quality delivery. But the second one is the ability to transit firewalls. It's really important to be able to deliver to consumers that may be in a hotel, maybe in a home network. They need to be able to get their content through the network, and it's not typically done with the standard managed service.
Okay, and in terms of the content that people will watch on the different screens, do you think there will be we'll watch some kind of content on mobile and different content on the PC, or do you think ultimately we watch the same stuff and you need the same sort of security protection on every screen?
Certainly the thresholds for security are going to be high for all screens. That hasn't typically been the case. For example, heretofore mobile has been pretty much unprotected. There have been a few cases where services are offered. But what we're seeing is that there's a tendency for people to be able to want to watch the content they're interested in on the best device available. So if they're in front of a 50-inch high-def television, great. If they're in front of an iPad, not as great, but pretty good. And if it happens to be on their phone, they'll watch it there too, if it happens to be the soccer match or the movie that they're interested in. So my strong feeling is that the requirements for security and specifically revenue protection, making sure that there's a business model that supports that delivery, will continue to be reinforced and get strengthened.
Okay, and we've always in the past thought about over-the-top rightly as a kind of an unmanaged, almost a gatecrasher service. It does look now as if over-the-top is being harnessed by pay TV, and I just wonder whether we're now at the point where we cross into over-the-top infrastructure being a pay TV kind of operation. Certainly,
over-the-top independently, meaning a service that's not operated by a pay TV operator as a TV Anywhere or TV Everywhere solution, has a place. We see Netflix in the US, for example, has a great deal of success with a subscription VOD model for, let's call it, long-tail content for older movies. It's remarkably popular, partly because they've done a great job of integrating a lot of devices. But I think there are a limited number of niches available for that, and that there'll be a strong response to that type of offering from all the pay TV operators, and that element will get very competitive.
Okay, all right, well that's probably a good place to leave it. So Tom, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, John.
Good speaking to you.